sir. And so while you want to call me not smart, please tell me what your side has done to fix the illiteracy rate that we see in our black children. Absolutely nothing. And in fact, not only have they not done anything to address the illiteracy issue, but then they're further confusing your kids by telling them that men can give birth, by telling them that there's 53 genders, and that by telling them that your love for your best friend must mean that you are gay, you are a pansexual, asexual. Kids under the age of anything high school should not be thinking anything sexual, period. Should not even be in their vocabulary.
We back with some more political news, some more current events. Yes, we are very close to election time. I hope you guys are doing your due diligence out there and doing your research. I'm talking about in depth, not just a surface dweller, you understand? Right now we're about to react to Michaela Montgomery as she is on the Washington Journal C-SPAN channel, where she is going to talk to callers who is going to disagree with her stance on Trump. Sit back and react with your boy. If you like reactions like this, consider hitting that like button. Definitely subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell. Let's see how this is about to play out. Let's go.
We see in other countries. I think that that's important, and I think that that is something that should be talked about.
And Colin is calling us from Washington, D.C., Independent Line. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call, and thank you for C-SPAN. I lived in Georgia during the 2020 election, and, I didn't vote for Biden or Trump, but I do remember this same sort of rhetoric coming from Ms. Montgomery, trying to claim that, black voters were going to change sides to the Republican Party. And in 2020, I think the black percentage was like 6% for Trump. So I just find it funny that every 4 years, this same, kind of song and dance gets laundered by the Republican Party. And I think it's worth mentioning that, Ms. Montgomery, she was the former city director of Blexit, which is a far right, we're going to try and get, we're going to try and quote unquote free the plantation mentality is a literal quote of the organization of black voters. And it's founded by Candace Owens, who's a far right loon. So I just think it's disappointing when C-SPAN, platforms people like Michaela Montgomery or Sebastian Gorka, or constantly refers to the Washington Examiner or the Washington Times, which are quite literally far-right newspapers that are made up. I mean, the Washington Examiner, go look up who founds them. Next, you're going to be, referring to the Epoch Times. So,
all right, Colin, we'll get a response from Michaela Montgomery. Go ahead, Michaela.
First of all, I'm a huge fan of Candace Owens, and
I like to say I second that right there. I'm also a huge fan of Candace Owens, and whatever he said, he sounds like a big lunatic himself. You understand?
Went to my first Blexit event here in Buckhead back in 2019, and the speeches that I heard, the visualizations that were presented to me, I was like, wow, this is great. And when it comes to getting off the Democratic plantation, that's a real thing, and I don't know why somebody would feel like I, myself, would be offended by that. If everybody thinks the same, has been fear-mongered into thinking the same way, living the same way, then yes, that's a plantation. Because how in the world were so many slaves who outnumbered their slave masters continuing to be slaves? It happened because they were fearful of doing something different. So when we say that Democrats are on this Democratic plantation, specifically talking about black people, it's because yes, you guys are all blindly following a leader and you're scared to do something different.
So this how they fool a lot of us. This how they fool out of y'all, right? People of color are raised to think that we're supposed to be a Democrat no matter what, just because of our skin. However, when it comes to white people, they don't vote in regards to that. Maybe because for the longest time, there's always been a white president for all the years we've known, right? But you got to think about it sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, how is it that how do you have blind loyalty and blind faith and you never question anything? You just say, all right, well, I'm this nationality, so I'm supposed to be a Democrat. How does that even make sense? Like, let me know in the comments.
Additionally, to think that somebody like myself who can clearly articulate their points, their opinions, their life experience that have led them to support certain candidates, it's very interesting that somebody would demean C-SPAN for having a guest like me on TV. There's plenty of people who think, act, and wish that a voice like mine had a bigger platform. So it's unfortunate that people like that feel like we should be silenced.
All right, let's talk to Ladley in Marietta, Georgia, Democrat. Good morning.
Yes, I did not know that you knew Candace Owens. Because she's pretty much been outcasted by the right because of her stances on Israel. But anyway, you will have a good job at Fox News at some point. I guarantee you that. And the things you point out on the Democrats for their failures, you're absolutely right on some of the things. The Democrats fall short, but at least we try. The Republican policies are just the complete opposite. Okay, last thing I want to say, they're never going to let you in the club. Okay, and you like the movie Django, you are the character of Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know the exact terminology, but not Uncle Tom, but Uncle Tommy, or you were a complete sellout.
First off, Uncle Tom was never a sellout. Go look up the true meaning of Uncle Tom, all right? They love to switch narratives around so that you misuse words and phrases and you have no clue what you're saying. You understand? Homeboy right here, all he's doing is taking shots, belittling her, tearing down her character simply because she is going to vote for Donald Trump. That is it. She didn't say anything harmful. She didn't say anything that will threaten anyone's livelihood, that is going to change your life tomorrow. All she is doing is just saying that, listen, I endorse Trump. That's all. So why is it that people get so hell-bent? Why is it that people get so butthurt when it comes to who you're voting for? Listen, I don't eat unhealthy. I still have friends who eat unhealthy. It doesn't mean I can't be their friend. You understand? Yeah, many of us always gonna have different belief. It doesn't mean that we cannot sit down and unite with each other. You understand?
You like the movie Django. You are the character of Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know the exact terminology, but not Uncle Tom, but Uncle Tommy, or you were a complete sellout.
All right, and we'll go to Robert in.
Oh, I can't respond to that?
Oh, yes, you can.
Thank you very much. Because first of all, it sounded like that was a non-black person telling me that. So as a Democrat, that sounds pretty racial and pretty divisive. Yes. Next, it's very interesting that I, again, would be called names or be compared to fictional characters because of who I choose to support. Again, these people who are calling and making these derogatory statements about me, who I choose to support, are denying the fact that, again, who are you to tell me that my personal experience is invalid? I think that that's something that a lot of Democrats need to look within, because how have you tried? Kamala Harris is in office right now and has not tried to do anything about the border, has not tried to not tax people on tips, and has not tried to do anything about our failing education system. So everything that she's promising she can do for you on day one, she could do right now. But
not only that, right? We, the civilians, need to stop saying, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, because things could change in a New York minute, which means is that it's possible that you could vote Republican this year because you like the policies and everything that's set in place. And it's possible that years down the line, you can vote Democrat. Why? Because you're neutral. You're into policies, you're not into identity. You understand what I'm saying? You can't be fooled because they're going to show you someone who sort of resembles your situation. You understand what I'm saying? Y'all gotta wake up. I'm telling you, you should not be any party. You should just be pro-human life. You understand? That's it. And if the standards and the policy aligns with that, then that's who you should vote for. You should not be pro-Democrat, pro-Republican. You should be pro-policy. That's it, pro-policy.
she's not trying to. So that's something to, for some Dems to take home.
Robert in Aurora, Indiana, Republican. Good morning.
Yes, sweetheart. Miss Montgomery, I commend you, sweetheart. You are telling the truth. I want to tell you a little bit about that. I'm 87 years old. I went for my physical. I didn't pass, but my dad served World War II. My uncle fought the Battle of Bulge. Back when I was a kid, we had black people working for us. There is colors, black, white, red, you name it, yellow. They ate at our table. They didn't have to go out in a barn or a shed or sit on the porch to eat. They ate with the family. And anybody that wants to do anything for their life, work for it. Work for it. There's jobs out here. They want to put Trump down, and he's worked his. Who would take a shot for this country? Who would take a shot for this country? And he wasn't in the military, no. But he did take a shot for this country, and it almost killed him. And you idiots out there that can't see that this man wants to do right for this country. He loves his country.
All right.
Vote for him.
All right, Robert. Go ahead, Kayla.
I wholeheartedly agree with the sentiment that if you want something, you have to work for it. Again, I moved out to Atlanta 10 years ago with 2 suitcases and $1,500. Not an idea what I was going to do. No family. No, I don't have parents that went to college. I was literally on my own and I had to figure it out. I worked 3 jobs to get through college. Then I got pregnant. So unfortunately, I did not finish. But then I was like, wow, instead of sitting here and waiting on government assistance to come and help me take care of me and my kid, what can I do to therefore uplift us and make it so that I have the freedom to raise my child and not worry about money? And that's, of course, when I invested all of my time into Conserve the Culture and grew it into a business that allowed me to take care of my daughter. So I can't go for the complaints. I can't go for the excuses. I can't go for the woe is me. I wholeheartedly agree that if you want something bad enough, you are going to work your ass off to get it.
Aaron, independent in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I would like to address my comment to Mrs. Montgomery. If she doesn't know how she's in her current station of life based on resources or housing taxes or just her luck of the draw,
What?
I agree you're not very smart. Thanks for taking my call.
Wait, Aaron. What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Exactly. Let's sound smarter when we ask the question, please.
Articulate.
Well, yeah, you made a comment earlier when you were living in Nevada and you moved to Atlanta. I don't know if it was my resources in Nevada because I guess they had pretty good school system.
Actually, we don't. Nevada was ranked very low when it comes to education. It just so happened that our government allocates our dollars better. But go ahead.
But initially you said you didn't know if you were smarter, but if you think resources
in regards to how I feel my level of intelligence is in relation to the people that I've met out here.
Yeah, Michaela, let him finish. Go ahead, Aaron.
I'm sorry for talking while you're interrupting. Well, you go ahead. Carry on.
I think I understand what you're getting. You heard my sentiments earlier in which I said I moved out here, and I don't want to say that I feel like I'm smarter than anybody else, but was it the resources that were allocated to me? Was it the fact that I got lucky with amazing teachers? Nevada ranks very low on education. So let's not act like, oh, all of a sudden I'm not smart. No, I noticed that even with Nevada being ranked so low in education, I felt like the quality of education that I received was much better than the ones that kids are receiving out here.
Leaving out the property taxes.
Okay.
Why is everyone attacking her character simply because she supports Trump? Now they're saying she's not a smart person. Let's just say tomorrow she says, you know what? I woke up. Let's just say tomorrow, for example, she says this. Hey, you know what? I don't support Trump anymore. I support Kamala. Now she's smart. Make it make sense. You people are in your feelings and it's showing a lot.
Okay, property taxes. So are you telling me that with all the black wealth that exists here in Atlanta, with all the black millionaires that live here in Atlanta, why in the world do 92% of APS students are illiterate? Make it make sense. And we have Democratic mayors, we have Democratic city council members, we have Democratic commissioners, and for whatever reason, 92% of the kids here cannot read. That statistic did not exist in Nevada. So again, I don't know if it was the fact that I got lucky. I can't say that, oh my God, it's the teachers that suck out here. I would never demean our educators here in Atlanta. But what we can acknowledge is the numbers, sir. And so while you want to call me not smart, please tell me what your side has done to fix the illiteracy rate that we see in our black children. Absolutely nothing. And in fact, not only have they not done anything to address the illiteracy issue, but then they're further confusing your kids by telling them that men can give birth, by telling them that there's 53 genders, and that by telling them that your love for your best friend must mean that you are gay, you are asexual. Kids under the age of anything high school should not be thinking anything, period. Should not even be in their vocabulary. So for you to say that I'm not smart because I'm willing to call out all of the degeneracy that exists within our current education system only points to your lack of intelligence and your lack of initiative to actually do something in regards to saving our children.
Whoa. Yo, I had to stop her for a second because she kept going right now. She just dropping nothing but truth bombs right there. I don't think this caller realized what he just did right now. He just opened up a can of worms. The Pandora's box? Yeah, my man, you just opened that up right now with the swiftness. I ain't gonna lie, that gave me goosebumps because you know why it gave me goosebumps? She's talking nothing but truth right now. Let's bring it back.
Your love for your best friend must mean that you are gay. You are. So for you to say that I'm not smart because I'm willing to call out all of the degeneracy that exists within our current education system only points to your lack of intelligence and your lack of initiative to actually do something in regards to saving our children and saving our schools.
All right, let's talk to Sam in Rome, Georgia, Democrat. Hi, Sam.
Hi, good morning. And I have a question I want to ask her first. And then if you will indulge me, I do have a comment I'd like to make after I hear her answer to my question.
Sure, go ahead.
How do you have a comment?
And before we get into it, too, remember she did all that complaining about the lack of education, but we also have a Republican governor here who had a hand in that as well. So it goes both ways. Anyway, I want to ask her, she touts herself as a smart person, so let's test it. What is the mitigating factor that made the Democratic South turn over to the Republican Party? And I'm waiting for your answer.
What made the Democratic South turn over to the Republican Party?
What is the mitigating?
I don't know what answer you're looking for, and I wouldn't know how to answer that. But I can say, again, I only speak to my personal experiences, sir. So for people to question my intelligence as if my life is somehow invalid is very interesting to me.
He's asking us something from his days, you understand? But that's not even important right now, you understand? The importance is where we're at today, you understand? The guy on the phone right now is just, he's trying to get that I got you moment from her, you understand?
What is the mitigating?
I don't know what answer you're looking for, and I wouldn't know how to answer that. But I can say, again, I only speak to my personal experiences, sir. So for people to question my intelligence as if my life is somehow invalid is very interesting to me.
So Sam, go ahead with your point.
Yes,
I believe you're talking about the Civil Rights Act.
The answer to the question is the Civil Rights Act.
The same Civil Rights Act that was authored by Republicans? Okay.
Can I finish, please? Mm-hmm. Okay. The act that gave you the right to sit in the chair that you're sitting in right now and vote. People in the city that you just moved into 10 years ago died for that cause. There are people still fighting for that same cause as we speak. In America, they were in the southern part of this state to which I live and I love. They caught people trying to fake the electors in this state in the Republican Party.
We also caught illegals with IDs and trying to vote, but I guess we wouldn't acknowledge that.
If you will look at the history to which I'm sure you claim to know or you do know, the history of your state, you should be aware that people have died for the cause to vote. And now the people
also died for the cause for us to read.
Hold on, Kayla. Let him finish.
May I finish, if it's okay? Your mother should have taught you a little better than to interrupt.
All right, Sam, just go ahead and finish.
Yo, the men are going in on her. I ain't gonna lie though. She does need to learn how to let people talk. You understand? Hold your thought. Wait till they're done, and then you speak. Because sometimes you will come across like you're not listening to them. All right?
Finish your point.
Thank you.
But the people that have died for this cause are still fighting for the same cause. Now, it's okay if you want to be Republican or Democrat, but not these Republicans. They are of a different ilk. They are of a different structure. They are the same structure that left the Democratic Party to come to the now Republican Party. And that's my comment.
All right, Sam. Go ahead, Kayla.
All right, so let's start with the 1964 Civil Rights Act, or the Voting Rights Act, correct? That was all a ploy by Lyndon B. Johnson to get black people to support the Democratic Party for the next 200 years. And unfortunately, the tactic worked because much like you heard our caller say, they're still fighting for the right to vote. There's not one American citizen without a felony who does not have the right to vote. All you need is an ID and you can go vote. He also didn't acknowledge the fact that while he's saying we had fake electors, we also had fake citizens going to vote in our elections. So, of course, I guess we just won't talk about election integrity in that sense. Next, the ploy to get black people to vote for them for the next 200 years was a fear tactic because, again, black people then thought that if they did not vote Democrat, they would lose their right to vote. And even though Ronald Reagan came in and didn't take away black people's right to vote, for whatever reason, Democrats every election season get up and talk voter suppression, protect your right to vote. Black people died for the right to vote. Black people also died for the right to read. So I wish a lot of you would please go read the Willie Lynch letters. I wish a lot of you would go read more about Jim Crow and how, the systems were set up to basically make us believe that we were victims for the rest of our life. So now let's talk about the migrant issue and how it relates to the 1964 Voting Rights Act, correct? The Voting Rights Act was put in place so that black people would be a loyal Democratic voting base. Black people are now leaving the Democratic Party.
Wait. Kayla, you're saying that the only reason the Civil Rights Act was passed was for votes?
No. The major portion of said legislation was the fact that it gave black people the right to vote, right? And Democrats touted the fact that they gave black people the right to vote. They then used fear-mongering to make black people believe that if they did not vote Democrat, they would lose their right to vote and whatever other rights and resources that were granted to them by these Democrats, correct? Now that you see black people leaving the Democratic Party, now that you see black people calling out the Democratic Party, now that you see black people tired of living in the same conditions that they were in when the bill was signed, they no longer have that loyal voting base. So you know what they're doing now? Now they're opening the borders. They're letting these migrants in. They're giving them these welcome packages full of food stamps, housing assistance, whatever else, housing and clothing and whatever else it is maybe that they need in order to come over here and live comfortably. Why? Because now when you have these illegal migrants coming over here and it's clear that the Republicans are like, no, get them out. Now you have a new loyal voting base who's like, oh God, if we don't vote for the Democrats, we're not only going to lose our right to vote, but we're possibly going to lose our citizenship as well.
Wow. Makes a lot of sense right there, huh? Hey, listen, I know a lot of people are going to be in their emotion and their feelings. I suggest you get up out of it. You understand? Because ego is never your amigo. With that being said, let me know if you agree, you disagree. What's your favorite pinpoints on this right here? Do you think the callers were right? Do you think they were just trying to assassinate her character? Let me know. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell. I'll see you in the next one.